Alright, massive fight in the featherweight division. Max Holloway is going to face off against Arnold Allan, a guy that I've always been talking about. This guy, Arnold Allan, is on a 10-fight win streak, and he's going to be facing Max Holloway, who's basically really only lost to Volkanovski. I mean, yes, he has losses to Conor McGregor at featherweight and Dustin Poirier, but those were years ago. You know, Max Holloway is probably up there with some of the greatest featherweights of all time, if not the greatest featherweight, but you'd probably have to give that title to Volkanovski or Aldo. I mean, it's so weird. Regardless, it's a conversation for another day, but Arnold Allan is on the other side of that equation, and this is definitely going to be one of his toughest tests so far. Yes, he faced Calvin Kattar, but we all know he was injured, and the fight kind of ended in a fluke way. But I'm telling you guys, do not sleep on Arnold Allan, because I'm going to be breaking down everything on why you should not. But the second half of the video, I'm going to be talking about Alex Pereira. He has announced his moves, his future, what he's going to do next. And with that being said, the question of the day is, who do you think is going to win, Max Holloway or Arnold Allan? Honestly, this is just a really close fight. I'm going to be breaking down why in a second. But before we do all that, let's hear from the sponsor as always. Alright, you know it's a good day when we have a sponsor. The sponsor of today's video is actually a sponsor I'm super excited to work with, is Arnold. Arnold is a streetwear brand from the UK that has designs inspired by mixed martial arts. They have designs inspired by fighters like Darren Till, Paddy Pimblett, and so much more. The people over there were nice enough to send me a hoodie of my own. As you guys could see, you know, it says kill everybody. Like, seriously, I had no idea what these hoodies were gonna look like, but I was insanely surprised. These hoodies look dope as hell. Look, if you guys want to go check out their designs, which I really suggest you guys do, go hit the link in the description and use code JACK10 to get 10% off of your order. That means you're gonna help me as well as help yourself, because you're gonna get some dope ass merch while also getting a massive discount. But let's just get back into the video. Alright, Max Holloway, Arnold Allan. Now, to give you guys a little context, yes, as I already stated, Max Holloway has been the #1 contender for years. I mean, we saw that he had that classic performance against Calvin Kattar, defeated Jose Aldo twice, dominated Brian Ortega. I mean, these are the top of the division, and he's coming off of a big loss. We all know the Alexander Volkanovski fight. Max Holloway had literally no success in that fight. 50-45 by Alex, taking a lot of damage, and I'm glad he took a long layoff. You know, there was a lot of talk of him coming back 2 weeks earlier, fight in London. That would have been really cool, but this is also a really fun main event. But you look at Arnold Allan, you know, this guy, a lot of people don't know him. Yes, he has a long win streak, coming off of a controversial win against Calvin Kattar, where Calvin Kattar was injured. But although not a lot of people know about him, I will say that he is going to surprise a lot of people in this fight, I think. Now, whether he's going to win or lose, we're going to talk about that later, but I think he's going to shock a lot of people, because what a lot of you guys might not know about Arnold Allan is his boxing is elite, like some of the best in the UFC, which is obviously Max Holloway's strong suit. And this is a guy that might actually be able to challenge someone like Volkanovski or challenge someone like Max Holloway, because everybody else they have fought has proven to be way worse boxers than them. But Arnold Allan trains with legit boxers. He's competed in boxing, and with that being said, he still is very well rounded. He throws lots of kicks. We saw in the Sadiq Youssef fight him use his wrestling. He also has a pretty underrated guillotine. There's a lot to like about Arnold Allan, including his personality. I'm a big fan of him, and this is a massive opportunity for him. This fight makes all the sense in the world to make. And before I break this down, I'm going to say who I think is going to win. I think Max Holloway. I think Max Holloway is going to have a really good performance here. Here's how I see the fight going. I think we're going to see Max put on a lot of volume within like the first minute or two. Arnold Allan's going to try to stay technical, but be like, hey, F this, row in the pocket with Max Holloway. Kind of like how we saw with the Dan Hooker fight, but as we know, Max Holloway definitely has better boxing than Dan Hooker. So I think this fight will be close, especially because in my opinion, we've seen Max Holloway kind of slow down. I mean, we saw with the Volkanovski fight. We saw in the Yair Rodriguez fight, even he had trouble. He had to resort to grappling in some moments of that fight. However, I think the volume will just be enough for Max Holloway, especially since he had a height advantage over Arnold Allan. I think that'll play a big deal in the fight. Maybe if Arnold's even the taller guy, maybe he wins, but I just think that Max Holloway is going to have landed the better shots, land more shots, and cruise himself to a decision victory. I think it'll be pretty close, though. I could definitely see a scenario where Arnold picks up 2 rounds and we're going to 48-47. I think Max Holloway will have success in the later rounds. We haven't seen Arnold Allan go 5 rounds. That being said, he probably can, but we just don't know. These are a lot of question marks, and another big question mark is how did the Volkanovski fight mess with Max Holloway, both physically and mentally? I mean, mentally, you have to be drained having one of the worst performances of your career, but as well, we all know that he has taken a lot of damage. I mean, even in the Calvin Kattar fight, he took big shots that might have put down some other opponent. In the Yair Rodriguez fight, another fight where he took a lot of damage. The Dustin Poirier fight that happened a few years back, lots of damage, and especially in the last Volkanovski fight, he took a lot of damage. And look, I know he's never gotten knocked down, and as we talked about a few videos back, chins always crack. At the end of the day, they're just a ticking time bomb. At some point, you know someone is going to get knocked out. We saw it with Tony Ferguson. We saw it with Conor McGregor. We've seen it with all of these top guys that we thought had legendary chins, and it's sad to see, but yes, Max Holloway is only like 31 years old or something like that, which is pretty young in his career. But as I was talking about with Justin Gaethje when he was going to fight, having these brawls and having these wars is going to fasten that time. It's going to make you a lot more older in fighting years. So I am worried about that a little bit, but I'm still going with Max Holloway. It's not like we've seen Arnold Allan have brutal knockout power. I could see a scenario where he drops Holloway, but I think Holloway will recover, and I think Holloway is going to get the decision victory. I think he'll win. I think the first round is going to be close, and then I probably think the rest are going to go to Max Holloway. I think Arnold Allan's best chance is for him to go for takedowns, and I'm very high up on Arnold Allan. Trust me, I'm not just saying this because Max Holloway is the bigger name or Max Holloway has a better resume. Look, I've studied both guys, and I legitimately think that this is just a good matchup for Max Holloway. Although if this is a fight where Max Holloway is going to stay at range and be patient, this isn't going to be good for Holloway. Arnold Allan is going to beat him at that game, but I think if he's pushing forward, pushing the volume, I think he can get him a little tired in the later rounds and definitely land lots of volume in the fight. We've also seen Max Holloway kind of go for takedowns with Yair Rodriguez fight, mixing up his game there, so maybe he plans to do that too. But we're gonna see. This is going to be such a fun fight. I actually can't wait for this. I think this is going to be a fight of the year candidate. I legitimately think that this is going to be a war, especially that first round. I can definitely see both guys just throwing in the pocket, and both guys I think are going to be durable enough to last the 5 rounds. So we're gonna see. I think Arnold Allan will do better than Calvin Kattar did, but we'll see. I think it'll be pretty close. And I want to give some of my thoughts on the co-main event, Edson Barboza versus Billy Quarantillo. This fight is another fight I think a lot of people are saying, oh, it's going to be a banger. I think it will be a fun fight. However, I do think still the main event will win fight of the night. That's my prediction. But I mean, we have Edson Barboza, a guy that is so fast with his kicks, unreasonable. And Billy Quarantillo, who yes is kind of big across MMA fans, but isn't really a casual's favorite fighter, right? I mean, most of us know him because we know MMA. We know he brings fun fights. And I don't want to talk too much about this fight, but I think Billy Q is going to win. Look, I think we've seen Edson Barboza get dropped. We saw him get dropped by Bryce Mitchell. The guy has taken so much damage. He's on the older side. And I think the leg kicks will definitely be a factor of Edson Barboza, and maybe that could help him win the fight and slow down Billy Q. But I think at the end of the day, Billy's going to land a big shot, I think, put down Edson Barboza, and I think he's going to get a TKO. We've seen Barboza be able to hit time and time again, and Billy Q is a guy that will be active. Billy Q, however, also can resort to his grappling. We've seen him use grappling in the past. So I think either way, I think it's going to be a pretty safe bet that Billy Q is going to win. But let me know in the comment section below, who do you guys think will win both fights? But now let's talk about Alex Pereira. Alright, Alex Pereira, a lot of confusion. What is going to happen with him next after suffering a brutal KO loss to Israel Adesanya? I am one of those people that think that the 185 cut is not a good thing for him. I think it definitely did affect his chin in that Adesanya fight. So as much as I do want to see a trilogy, and I think if Alex says, hey, I want to cut to 85 again, and I want the trilogy, I think he does deserve it, and it makes the most sense seeing Israel can't fight anybody else. You see, Alex Pereira just announced that he is going to be moving to 205 pounds on his YouTube channel, and it's kind of up in the air who he will fight. I've heard some names like Volkan Oezdemir being thrown around, which I just think is a bad idea. Like, that fight just sucks. Who would be excited for that? Personally, I would rather Alex Pereira get jumped to the top 5, let Yuri and Jamal settle things out if they're going to be ready in time, and let him fight maybe a guy like Jan Blachowicz, which I think is a bad matchup for Alex Pereira, but let him fight him. Or what would be an even better fight is the winner of Anthony Smith versus Johnny Walker. I think Alex will definitely beat whoever that is. I think the Johnny Walker fight is a little more interesting of a matchup, though. The Johnny Walker fight would just be so fun if that fight does happen. And we know Alex Pereira is a big 205er. It's crazy he even made 185 pounds because the guy walks around sometimes at 230 he'll weigh himself. Usually enters fight week at 215. So even that is a 10-pound weight cut, which is a pretty decent weight cut. So I just think he'll have a lot more success. I think his cardio will be better. I think his chin will be better. Could be the fact that he is getting old and has suffered lots of damage throughout his kickboxing career, but that remains to be seen. We'll find out at 205 pounds. I also wouldn't necessarily be against Jamal Hill versus Alex Pereira next. I mean, first of all, there's no light heavyweight contender other than Yuri Prochazka that makes sense for Jamal Hill, and plus you have the storyline. Jamal Hill just beat his coach Glover Teixeira. Can Jamal Hill beat his student, his protege, if you will, Alex Pereira? That is going to be an interesting matchup. Both guys are strikers, but I could definitely see Jamal Hill trying to incorporate some grappling in there. I could also see, though, Alex Pereira incorporating some grappling, although we have seen Jamal Hill's takedown defense be pretty good, especially in that Glover fight. But we're gonna have to see. I just don't want him to fight Magomed because I do want to see Pereira fight for a belt, but Magomed does make sense ranking wise, and so does Jan. We're gonna see how that goes, but I'm very interested. Thank you guys for watching. It's a little bit longer of a video than usual, just some news to cover. As always, I'm gonna always cover everything. Super excited for tomorrow's main event. Let me know in the comment section below, what do you guys think is going to go down? Do you guys think Max Holloway is going to win? Arnold Allan's going to win? Let me know in the comment section below. Let me know. Check out Red in the link in the description. They have awesome hoodies as always. Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one.